Colleagues, in the previous section we spoke about basic labeling interfaces for images, videos, LiDAR data and icon data. In this section we will speak about images and videos and how to label them when we rely on AI models and customization of labeling interfaces. But before we jump into the topic, before we jump into application of AI models to speed up labeling process, let me first show you how to deploy deep learning models that we will rely on later. Colleagues, we have 4 projects here that I would like to show how to auto-label, but before I do that, let me deploy the models that we will need to auto-label these projects. So probably the first thing that I have to do, I have to explain how deep learning models and Supervisely are interconnected. So to run efficiently, to use efficiently deep learning models, we need GPUs. And if I go to the start menu and to team cluster page, I will see some machines that are connected to Supervisely. And for example, machine with GPU, this machine and say AWS machine and this machine with GPU, those machines are connected to Supervisely, and those machines have GPU cards. And say if I click on say concrete machine, I will see the parameter of graphical card, and I will see NVIDIA SMI stuff here. So the point is that whenever I run certain app that requires these GPU resources, I may specify which machine to use as a backend. And moreover, you can, if you click Add button and pick here Supervisely agent, what you will see is a command that you can copy and run on a machine that has Docker and NVIDIA Docker installed and GPU card, and after that this machine will be available in the running status, like the machines that I have here. Okay, now it's time to deploy the models. I will go to Start menu and to Neural Network section. So we will be interested in images and videos in this section. And probably the first thing to notice here is that we have here a number of tasks that we can solve. So object detection, semantic segmentation, instance segmentation, and so on. And some tasks that we can solve on videos, like say detection and tracking, segmentation and tracking, and so on. Another thing to notice here is that say if I click object detection, there is a serve category here. So those are apps that allows me to deploy models for object detection. And if I click on semantic segmentation, I will see a serve category that contains apps that allows me to deploy models for semantic segmentation. And in this section, I will show you models for interactive segmentation, so-called smart tool. So let's actually deploy the model. So I will run this. RITM interactive segmentation smart tool app that actually deploys the model. I can pick the version of the model, and also let me specify here that I will deploy this model on this AWS machine, and maybe I will give a model a name like say default smart tool. Okay, let me deploy this model, and this is interactive models that can interact with the user and speed up segmentation process quite a lot, manual segmentation process quite a lot. Then I will run an app called TransT, so that's interactive tracking, and I will also use the same AWS machine to deploy this model. Okay, let's run the app. I can close that for now. And I would like also to show you object detection model and instance segmentation model in action. So let's run some instance segmentation model and say Detectron2 contains this repository and app on top contains quite strong instance segmentation model. So let me run this app and I will pick pre-trained models here, and I will probably pick say this model, and I will run this on probably another machine. Let me run it on machine with GPU 2. Okay, so let me run this app to deploy the model, and the last model that I would like to deploy is object detection model, and I have a choice here. For example, I will say I may run I may deploy model from YOLO v5 repository or from MM detection repository. Let me take MM detection repository, and I will also use the machine with GPU 2. So let me run this app. It might take a couple of seconds for the app to be initiated. Let's wait a bit. So this app, as well as previous, is just graphical user interface on top of powerful GitHub repositories. In this case, MM detection repository, and this repository contains models for object detection and semantic segmentation. So I will use object detection task here, and I may have a choice, quite number of architectures to choose from, and within each architecture I can pick a checkpoint. So probably I will just pick the checkpoint with the maximum accuracy, and I will click Serve button. So now the model is deployed. Okay, let's take a quick look at the models deployed. So if I go to app sessions here and click on running, I will see all running apps. So for example, we have this model from MM detection repository. We have deployed model. From Detectron2 repository, and we deployed two interactive models here.